Oh, we are live, and here we are, two people who have come together after a long time to review a film that came a while ago, but we thought that we have to talk about this film because it's a film that you cannot miss. It's a film you cannot resist. You have to talk about it, and so Sneha just recently texted me, "Have you watched Manjummel Boys?" And I was like, you have been absent from the channel for so long, so now I'll watch it and I'll discuss it on the channel with you. So welcome back, Sneha, and I hope that
Um,
even though you were absent, but I hope you are still watching Malayalam films
yeah, yeah,
throughout your absence on the
of
channel.
course. And that's why I texted you because I didn't know who else to talk about. Like a new amazing Malayalam movie is here, and I wanted to talk to someone
Yeah,
about it. And we all share the same connect, like you, Farhad,
yeah.
everyone. So I was very excited when I watched it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I had missed it when it came in the theaters, and it recently came on Hotstar. So when you said you wanna talk talk about Manjummel Boys, so I watched it today to prepare for the live stream, and I'm just fresh off of it, and I'm still like in that world. I'm still I feel like I'm one of the Manjummel Boys right now
He's still
because
in Goma Caves.
Ye- not oh no no not the caves at least but the whole world building that Chidambaram did in that film. So to start with, okay, now that I've taken his name, let's start with the director himself, because it's one thing to have this kind of an idea, but it's another thing to pull it off with such excellence. Because I don't know what kind of budgets they had, but show everything with so much of conviction. You didn't feel for a moment that all this is made up. It felt like actually, and it's based partially based on a real incident as well. So, for them to be able to pull it off like that, I mean, we expect these kind of things from Malayalam cinema now, but still, you're still in the awe every time you watch something new coming out of that industry.
Yeah, and also just to think that the real incident happened way back in 2006, but to recreate it entirely again and to
Yeah,
recreate the caves itself, it's a huge
yeah,
production feat, I think. So, again,
it
like a
is.
great movie watching experience. I wish I could have seen it in the theater, but yeah.
Same, because when it came in the theater, I think I was traveling at that time, and Malayalam films, they don't stay a long time in northern cities. So, be it Mumbai or Delhi, and it's very difficult to find the shows with subtitles as well. So that's why I missed it at that time. And everyone, including other friends of mine and who have reviewed the film, everyone in the review mentioned that you have to watch this film in theaters. And now that I watched it at home today, I could see the reason why they were mentioning that it is a cinematic experience, and it's different at home. It's different in the cinema. So when you watch the film, what was, like, I ask every panelist this first question, like, what was the thing that really stuck with you? Like, what you took home after finishing the film?
Um, I really appreciated how they use the song to redefine friendship.
Right.
The song is a romantic song,
Yeah.
and they just again portrayed it in a way. And I was watching this interview of Kamal Hassan with the cast and crew, and he says
Yeah.
the same thing, that friendship is also love, and it has
Yeah.
its own elements of romance. So I think that
Yeah.
was my biggest takeaway from the movie.
Right.
Friendship over everything, definitely.
Yeah. And not just friendship, I think it's also selflessness.
Yep.
Because like, he just, without thinking twice, when nobody's going down there, he wants to go and save his friend. And then when they come back, he doesn't even take the credit. That's
Yep.
the best part. They get to know randomly, like the first scene that comes in the movie, and you keep thinking, okay, what was that? Why did the
Yeah.
show? What did he see in that newspaper clipping? And then they come back to it, and you get to know, okay, so that's how they get to know about how he saved him, and then everybody in Manjummel gets to know about it. So not just saving the friend's life, but also doing it selflessly. Like, he didn't want
Yeah.
to become a hero out of it. He didn't want
Exactly.
to. Yeah.
Like it wasn't like a heroic thing that he wanted to do. He just
Yeah,
wanted to save his friend and just wanted to
yeah,
believe that his friend was alive.
yeah.
It was a
Because
conviction.
yeah, he was like, he was just being casual about it. That okay, that's what friends do. I
Yeah,
just did what a friend would do.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
What's so heroic about it? So that's what I loved at the end. And these kind of things. So like how you said, you revisited Kumalangi Night. So even in Kumalangi Night, these kind of moments with Shobin, they melt you down. Like, in Komalangi, when he goes to that therapist and he just breaks down.
Yeah, he's
And
bawling his
here at
eyes out.
yeah, and here at the end, when his friend's mother comes to him, and he's still clueless that what
Yeah.
happened. His father asks him, did you do something again? And he's like, and when she cries, and she hugs him, and that was proper emotional moment for me.
Yeah, and also I think for me, like one moment that I think matlab, I've seen the movie once or twice now actually,
Oh,
because I kept revisiting this one scene where they finally pick him up and all the boys are on the rope
oh
and they
yeah.
start playing the song in the background. Like I had goosebumps and I cried so much. It was such a endearing moment that okay,
Another
he's alive.
look at this. Love from Pakistan. So
Oh,
just imagine we are discussing a Malayalam film,
yeah.
and there are people in Pakistan who care about Malayalam cinema in Pakistan,
Yeah.
which you won't find in a lot of North Indian households.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
somebody sitting in Pakistan is, watching this, so I'm glad, and a lot of love to you as well. Uh, so coming back to the film, so so you brought up the the tugging thing. Uh, I'm so thrilled to be discussing this, because when I was watching the film, and at the end when they have to do the same thing, it was a callback from the beginning of the
Yes,
film. When
definitely,
yeah,
definitely.
when they had the tugging in that wedding, and
Yeah, and
I
also
just
it was with the original Manjummel Boys, by the way.
right,
The
right,
guy,
right.
the guys with whom they're playing, so they're the original Manjummel Boys. It was
Yeah,
such
yeah,
a
yeah.
great tribute to them.
I just happened to read it somewhere, and the fact the fact that this director is not doing anything for the sake of it, because you can still show the tugging thing just as a tribute to them, but it
Yeah,
it has a callback at the end, and a very important callback. The same
exactly.
tugging of war helps them, uh, you know, uh, save their both the friends, not just one
Both
of
the
them,
friends.
but both the friends, and
And it's for a meaningful purpose now. It's not just
it
because
is.
they're drunk and they want to beat someone
Yeah,
over it, but
yeah,
it's for a
absolutely.
meaningful purpose.
Yeah, it was such a surreal moment, like cinematically also.
Yeah.
It made so much sense, that callback moment. So
Yeah, and it was like that, the thing that life comes to a full circle kind of thing,
yeah,
where
yeah,
before there are sequences where they're shown practicing and all of that, and it all came into play towards the end.
yeah. And another thing that I really loved in this film is that, in the first half, when they are establishing everything, and they are talking about the trip they are going to take. By the time, so until the big twist in the film, until that, you have such a peculiar idea about each of the boys,
Yeah,
because all of them have such distinct characteristics, and the characters are written so well that even though you might not remember all the names of all the nine people, but still, you have, like, you see somebody, and you can pick out, okay, who this is, or who that is, or what he did or what he didn't do. So I love the writing of the characters.
Yeah, and also like it's essentially like towards the beginning of the movie, they're literally boys. The
Yeah,
way they go to the cave, they're having
yeah,
fun, all of that. They're literally boys, and I think by the end of the movie, they come
yeah,
out as different people. Like it shows that okay, something very major has happened, and these people are now
yeah,
different within a day.
yeah. And what I also thought was interesting was the guy they chose, like out of all the characters, the guy they chose that who would fall down, and the guy
Right,
they chose who would save him. So again, that's also very interesting decision making, like creatively, like which character and also which actor they
definitely.
chose to play those kind of important roles, because all of like other people had this collective energy after the half point, right?
Hmm.
They kind of become one when they are helping them, but these two uh, who are the, yeah, like two ends of the tug again
Yes,
thing. So
yes.
for me, like Shobin, choosing Shobin, and I forgot the name of
Srinath Basi.
Srinath. Srinath. So choosing Shobin and Srinath as the two important pivotal people, I think that's again very important to the film, right?
Yeah, and also I think if you look at it from a writing perspective, everyone had equal screen time.
Yeah,
Like even though these two characters were the main people to so to say, but I still think that everyone had an equal part to play throughout the
yeah.
movie.
It
And it
is.
was
That's
only
true.
towards the end, like to the last half an hour, 45 minutes, that these two characters are particularly highlighted. But otherwise,
Yeah.
everyone had their own part to play over here.
Yeah, and like one of them which stands out, although you could say that he had a little lesser screen time. The guy who goes into a frenzy,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Who says
who's
that
in,
he's dead and comes
yeah,
back in the end.
who's in the yellow jacket sitting outside,
Yep,
and then he comes and then he says, lose it up.
yep,
Uh,
yep.
so again, so he, even with lesser screen time, he stood out because
Definitely.
he had a very different kind of a character to play. He was adding something supernatural to it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if you will,
And
you
it
you
had a very thriller sort of vibe
yeah,
throughout.
it yeah,
Like
and
there's some like elements in it, I think, which are very different from like a usual survival drama or something like that.
yeah. I mean, the moment the guy falls down, and this guy is like he's not gonna come back, and he's dead. And when they tell that it's called Devil's Kitchen, so you could just sort of you could think that, okay, what, is this some sort of a supernatural thing that this guy is feeling, because he's in a frenzy and that kind of a
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
And then after, even when they come back to the village, he's again, he's just aloof, he's alone,
yeah, yeah.
he just walks away. So
And and also like the moment when he falls, right? It's such a natural reaction that you just don't register it. Like if anyone else was also there, probably they wouldn't have registered it in the first few minutes
yeah,
that oh okay, what happened, where is Subhash? And it took
yeah,
them a while to actually realize that oh shit, like he's fallen into this dark pit hole. So I think that was also very well written, and also the whole sequence was so realistic.
it was, I mean, it's just beyond uh, beyond excellence to pull it off. And so there's a comment, Akash says, did you know who is the driver in the movie? As in, like, is it is it the director? Like, um, I don't know what he means by
Because
that.
a lot of actors, like the nine boys
Yeah,
who played, like a lot of them are also apparently directors. They directed a lot of Malayalam
yeah, yeah,
movies.
yeah. Right,
So maybe he's also a very big director that we don't
probably.
know of yet.
And okay, Khalid Rahman, the director of Talumala. Oh,
Oh,
that
wow.
guy again. So just last week I did a podcast with Farad. We talked about Malayalam cinema in general, and we were discussing this, that how in Malayalam cinema there are people who are having these multiple hats. You know, they direct, they act, they edit, they do everything. So now again another example, like Khalid Rahman, Talumala is a brilliant film. It's have you seen it?
Yeah, Tovino's
Yeah,
movie,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's such a slick film. Like, it's one of my favorite films. And now to know that, the director of amazing film has played the role of a driver, and again he was also so convincing as a driver. Like, if he wouldn't told me, if he hadn't told me that he's the director, I would have thought that he's just another good actor they have chosen to play that role. Like, I don't know Khalid Rahman by face. I know him by his name and Talumala. And uh, Shobin Shahir, Srinath Basi, one of the best Jodi in
Yeah.
Kumbalangi, Bhishma. Yeah, Bhishma Parvam
Yeah.
also, yeah. Akash says, and there were also one more director in Manjummel Boys. It's like Akash is now, he's starting to play quiz with us, he's total three director in Gang of including Shobin. Yeah, Shobin is also a director. Uh, Another thing
Tovino is
which
also
I,
the producer of this movie.
right, the kind of films these people like, put their money on, like what Fahad has done this year. Like, he produced Premalu.
Yeah.
He
Avisham.
produced Avesham as well, and I think one more, if I'm not wrong. But just the kind of sense and the eye they have for good scripts, and to put their money and probably be even convinced that we are gonna make profit out of these scripts.
Yeah, and also I think they're just much more audacious compared to Hindi cinema. I really think that they're so experimental. They are so gutsy with their stories and with their productions. Like no one film looks similar.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything looks so different from the previous movie.
And it comes out in their interviews as well. Like,
Yes.
whenever you watch their interview, you could you could feel the amount of work that goes in, but also the amount of love for cinema and love for filmmaking these people have, right? So I was watching an Imran Khan interview, the actor Imran Khan.
Yeah.
So he said that what he felt on Bollywood sets is that the amount of work that should go into the essence of filmmaking, that doesn't seem to be there in Bollywood. Those are his words, and he has done a few films, good enough number of films to understand that. And whenever so the recent interview of Fahad with Anupama Chopra, or even
Yeah.
Bharatwaj Rangan, you could see that the he or anybody for that matter, they are so much involved in the the little bits of the depths of everything.
And
So
also, I think they don't take their audience for granted. I really think
right.
that they acknowledge the fact that our audience is intelligent enough to see all kinds of cinema and they're ready
Yeah,
for everything. They
yeah,
really
and
give credit to their audience, and that's great. The audience is much
that's
more
true.
accepting,
That's
probably
true.
because of this. They're so accepting of whatever they are releasing right now.
You know, I don't know if it's the right analogy or example, but a small mirror image of what's happening there with the respect to their cinema and audience is this YouTube channel. Like, I've survived this YouTube channel because of Malayalam audience. I mean, they if they can accept uh, two people who are not from
Yeah. Two
Kerala, who
North
don't speak,
Indian.
two North Indians who don't
One
speak
Punjabi,
Malayali.
one Bengali person.
Yeah, and Fahad, when he comes, Farhad,
Yeah,
he's a Parsi from Mumbai. There are other people as well who come to my channel. Most of them non-Malayalis, but for them to be accepting of us because we talk about these films out of the love for Malayalam cinema.
yeah,
So of course, they would be a lot more welcoming of what their artists they are offering, and they're catering to them. So
yeah, definitely.
and that kind of energy feeds off to the artists as well. Of course, if the audience is accepting, they would try their best to not just give something new, but also something different every time.
Exactly. Like they would want to, work on the quality of the film as well.
Yeah,
It's not just
yeah,
quantity, it's
yeah,
always quality with Malayalam cinema.
yeah. It's like they are conscious of the fact that there is a benchmark they've set,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it should not go down, right?
And it has only surpassed that benchmark with
Yeah,
everything that they, and I
yeah.
think the whole wave started probably from matlab, when 2020, and they just haven't stopped.
No, I think so. So I've been guilty of this as well in the past.
I
People
think
have
our
point.
exposure started from
Yeah,
2020.
yeah. I think that's the right way to put it because so many times I've mentioned this in my videos, and then people come in the comment section attacking me. You don't know. You just started
Yeah, yeah.
watching Mammootty and Mohanlal in 80s and 70s. They did these kind of films way before it became cool. So I've stopped
Yeah,
that.
it's like it's because of our also I think it was the ease of accessibility
Yeah,
that has come post the pandemic, where
yeah,
every Malayalam movie is now also available in Hindi, so they dub it
yeah.
in Hindi. Most of the
Right.
Malayalam movies on Disney Plus Hotstar are dubbed in Hindi, so that
Although
is
the
basically.
dubbing is not that great, so I watched Hindi
I
dub
have
today.
Oh, okay, I have
I
only seen the Malayalam versions.
Today was the first ever Hindi dubbed Malayalam film I watched
Oh.
today. Uh, because I just thought let's see how they do it, and I was not impressed. So
Yeah, like they lack.
even the songs are also dubbed in Hindi. I
Yeah,
don't get, luckily they didn't redid the Ilayaraja song,
yeah,
the
yeah, correct. The Tamil song.
yeah, they didn't touch that luckily. So talk about music. Vishnu says talk about Sushin Sham's music,
Oh,
whichever movie he's part of. Or I loved two songs. I loved the song at the beginning and at the end. So the one at the beginning at the wedding when they're dancing to it,
right, right, right.
that's such a groovy song. I loved that. And then at the end, when they
When he's
come back,
hospitalized.
yeah, when
Yeah,
they come back, I love the beats of that song. I think
yeah, yeah. So,
I've had a conversation with Sushin Sham on Instagram once because I'm a
wow,
musician myself, and I sort of reached out to him to compliment him about his music, and he was generous enough to
that's
reply back.
really sweet.
Yeah. Um, Akash says today also one new movie released.
Hmm.
Guru Vayur Ambala Nadayil. Comedy movie with Prithviraj and Basil Joseph. Getting booked.
Wow.
See again, Basil Joseph is also another director
Yeah,
who did
right.
Minnal Murli,
Yeah, and
and
also he's a great actor.
yeah, and
He's
Prithviraj is
amazing.
also actor and director both. So again another example. Best part of actors of be producer in Malayalam cinema is that more than business, they are more looking on art. Once in an interview, Mammootty said while producing a movie like Kadal Core, they are not even thinking about business of the movie. I mean, see, I'm sure the producers who are putting the money they would think about the business of the movie, but
I
I
think they
think
think about the recovery part more than,
yeah,
reaching that 100 crore or whatever
but
Bollywood fancies.
but for somebody like Mammootty, like for his stature, he can afford to not think about the business because of his work so far and his experience. And I think after these many movies and these many years, he has the conviction or he has the confidence that this script will work, so he can let go of the whole burden of thinking about business side of things, and he can completely concentrate. Like last year I did that movie Nanpakal, uh, something which was, did you watch it?
No, I haven't.
It was about this it was a road trip kind of a thing. A group of people take a trip, uh, and they stop somewhere in between to take a nap. No, to eat something, and then it's a crazy film. Like I can't. I'm forgetting the complete name of the film, but it's a very interesting experimental movie, and it's by Lijo Joseph Pellissieri.
Oh,
the director of
Jallikattu.
Jallikattu. So him coming together with the Mammootty was a spectacle. That's a brilliant film. You should watch. So for him to choose a film like that, and it comes after years of putting out movie after movie after movie. So yeah, so here it is. Nanpagal Nerathu Mayakam. It's
Okay,
LJP magic.
cool. I'll watch it, Akash.
So one thing which kind of stuck out for me was so when he goes down to save his friend. I don't know how many people notice this. I even though the movie is set in I think late 90s or something like that, or early 2000s, right?
2006.
Uh, 2006. So I am sure even then people had the police system had walkie talkies on which they talk, right? So when he goes down, why not give him like one of the walkie talkies? Because I mean
I
instead
also
of
thought of that, but again, then I thought that maybe signal in that cave might have been such a big issue that
so
probably a
signal
walkie
so
would
so
have.
walkie talkies don't work like mobiles networks, right? They don't work on those kind of signals, like they don't need a tower or something. So I don't know, like because it was all open, it was still open, and they could talk
Hmm.
through that void that was created. So I thought, like, it just appeared to me that why not use that to
Yeah.
talk for the ease of talking to them down there. So that was one thing, and then at the end, at the very end, before the end credits roll, when they are putting they're covering it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking. So the police men, they say that this they say according to government records, 13 people have already fallen down
Yeah.
and nobody came
13,
back. So
14.
so
Yeah.
if 13 people had fallen down through the same hole, why did they never cover it up before?
Right, right,
Like
right.
after this incident, they're covering it up. If it would have been covered up before, this incident could have been
Yeah, a
skipped.
lot of
So
lives could have been saved.
yeah. So because if you remember in the earlier parts of the film, when they just reach that cave point and they are just woofing around, there were a couple of those kind of railings on which they were jumping, and some
They crossed
things
through it.
something was covered up as well
Hmm.
on which they were jumping, if you remember. So there were coverings. So if I don't know, but the fact that this is based on an original event, and the references that come in the beginning of the film with snapshots of the real people involved, I think that
Yeah.
was really impactful. Like for me, it was adding so much to the film, and it sets you up for a nice thriller, 2 hours ride, right?
And also, I think the way they recreated the photos because they showed
Yeah,
like this,
yeah,
like a reel of sort towards the end. The way they recreated with the costumes and the locations, everything,
yeah,
it was spot on. It was very
yeah,
well done. Like, and also like the production design was beautiful. Like to
yeah,
recreate that cave must have, you know, been like a huge task, but they recreated it.
yeah. So Universal Cinema says Basil Joseph very talented, funniest guy ever in Bollywood. So, did you watch this recent film, uh, Varshangalak Shesham?
No, I haven't.
It's
Is it a Basil
Pranav.
Joseph movie?
No, Basil Joseph is acting in it. He has a
Oh,
supporting role. So
oh,
I recently saw him in that, and today again his another film has come out.
oh,
Then he
and I
says,
last saw him in this movie called
"Jaya
Falimi.
Jaya Jaya." Hey? Okay,
Yeah, JJJ and also Falimi. Falimi was also a very fun watch.
yeah. No, I have not seen it yet. Uh, but overall, we talked about the music. Other than that, I think cinematography of the film,
Oh,
like just to
beautiful.
show Kodaikanal in that way, and uh, I lived in Chennai for 6 years, and to the day I regret not visiting Kodaikanal. And today, after watching this film, I feel like I should make a plan to visit there because it looks so beautiful, and through the lens of I forgot who the
Shahid Khan.
cinematographer. Oh, right. So I think it just it added another character to, like, Kodaikanal itself was a character, like how
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Manjummel was a character. Kodaikanal, and the whole the darkness around it. Because of the cave and the Devil's Kitchen.
And also, I think especially the sequence where Subhash is in that catatonic state,
Yeah,
and he is imagining that he's walking through the caves and he's naked, and just to
yeah.
shoot that part, it was so beautifully
Oh,
done.
yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was
I mean,
very
and
well
and
done.
and the amalgamation of his childhood scenes. How he imagines
Yeah,
himself.
yeah, right, right.
That's again, that's cinematic and editing brilliance because,
Yeah, and also
uh,
like just to incorporate that part, I think is a
yeah,
very interesting take because what else? Because I was thinking that what else do they show about this person who's deep
yeah,
inside that hole?
yeah.
Like they need to bring
It's
him up,
kind
but
of,
how do they do it?
I don't know if you watched Fahad Fasil's film called Malyan Kunya. Again,
Yeah, I
it's a
think I
survival
have
based movie in which he gets trapped under a lot of debris
water.
because of rain. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think I've seen this. Yeah, I think.
It brought back those kind of memories for me because that's again another survival based film. Even 2018, again another survival
Hmm.
based film. The last couple of years, 2022 Malayan Kunyu came, uh, last year 2018 came, and now this. So Malayalam cinema is getting really good at survival genre because what have we seen so far in India in this genre that is good? What Trapped probably comes to mind,
Yeah,
which was okay. Uh, Other than that, the first memory of a survival movie for me was 127
127
hours.
hours
Yeah,
for
which
everyone, I think.
yeah. So that was good, and of course, talking about that, the whole childhood sequence. So if you remember, so the child jumps into the water, and then
Water, yeah.
they cut to
Oh, it's the
him.
transition, him
Yeah,
falling in there.
and then another thing which I loved was how the in the childhood, he comes and sleeps with his mother, and at the end of the movie,
Yeah,
his mother comes and sleeps
sleeps with him.
with him, just so that was very, very well done.
Also, I think there's
Uh,
another sequence where he's walking through the forest, and then they cut to this portion where he's walking inside the cave now. Like his childhood version is walking through the forest, and then he's walking. They cut it to like him now walking, and it's all red all around him, and
yeah,
he's
yeah,
shivering. I think that was also a very well edited sequence.
yeah. I mean, just like to imagine it and then to be able to apply it and execute it.
Yeah,
It takes a different sort of a mindset, for them to. Navneet is saying, I think there are many cave holes, so the people may be falling in separate places. Okay, that makes sense.
yep.
This specific one was a very small gap, which they didn't think was that dangerous. But then they kept referring that one to Devil's Kitchen, right? Because
I think that was like a cinematic liberty that they took
hmm,
to maybe,
maybe,
you know, dramatize
yeah,
it a little bit more. Maybe.
right. The Basil Juicy Prithviraj music today is by the same director of Jai Jai. Okay,
Oh,
now these people are making me want to go and watch that film as well. Last time Farhad and me were doing the podcast, Malayali in India had come out on that day, and people in the
okay.
comments were just talking about that film. And now today this movie has come, and they want. Uh, in Malayalam movies, there are at least 20 actors in their 20s. I can't think of any actors in their 20s in another major film industry. Oh, that's an
Hmm.
interesting
True.
observation.
Yeah.
Uh, a small detail: the belt which Srinath has taken from the belt shows him. Oh, that's something I didn't
Oh,
notice.
that's very
Which
interesting.
which holds him from falling
So
further
basically,
down.
he's on
Yeah,
that
yeah,
edge,
yeah,
right? So
yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's the belt that was acting as a hook and preventing him from falling further down.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because all his rest of his clothes are completely torn.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, interesting. Like I know that this director won't do something for the sake of it, as I mentioned earlier. So when he takes away his brother's belt, now this makes sense. Why they
Yeah,
emphasize on the belt. But how like did they show it anywhere? Like, or is it Navneet? It's your like it's something that you have analyzed on your own, or was that like? Do you think it's
maybe
true
I
or it's
wouldn't. Maybe I'll have to rewatch it for this thing.
okay?
But it could be. I think that it could be like a great addition to this
Don't
film.
forget Helen while discussing survival.
Yes.
Well, I think I wouldn't forget Helen, but I would like to forget Millie, which was the which was a bad. It was a frame to frame remake by the same
Yeah,
director,
yeah.
but why? Like why even begin to do it? Because if it's frame by frame, if it's the same story, if only the setup and the cities are different,
Actress is different.
just dub it in Hindi, man. Like why uh, bother it? So okay, the director mentioned about the okay,
Oh, interesting.
wow. So if Navneet, if you found this through the director's interview, then I still get it. But if you understood it on your own, then hats off. Your film watching observation is really good. They didn't show in the movie real Subhash belt stuck on a rock. Oh, so the real life. That's
Oh.
what he meant. Okay, so Navneet said in real life, right at the end. So the real life Subhash happened to have that belt, which saved his life. Wow.
Yeah, because I was also watching the director's interview, and he interviewed all the Manjummel boys separately and then together. So I'm sort sure this is something that came up.
Wow, man. It's like a divine intervention, right? If the belt
Yeah.
actually saved him, because he just randomly just took it away from his brother, and who knew that, at the end, that would
Also,
end up saving
to
his life.
position this whole thing about the divine intervention, like he's a guy who talks about, not believing in God.
Yeah. And
Uh,
then at the end,
yeah,
that
someone
lady
comes
who
and
comes, yeah,
touches his feet.
yeah, she's like, you have just almost come out of,
You've
death's
touched death
jaws.
and come back.
Yeah. So and now you're God, and they touch his feet. That was like another. It's a very small part in the film, but it adds so much to just the whole. In the overall scheme, it adds so much.
Yeah, and also I really, in that moment, of course, Subhash's reaction is he's still flustered from whatever is happening, but
Yeah.
his friends, they look at each other and they smile that this
Right.
is what has happened is actually a divine intervention, maybe.
Yeah. Oh God! And then at the end, even those photos come handy. When they
Yeah,
show him the pictures and he tries to remember everything. They tried to shoot the belt scene, but they didn't get the shot properly. It had a lot
oh,
of difficulties getting it right inside the cave set. So they decided to have that white flat rock in the movie. Yeah, I kept thinking, like, how is he not slipping away?
slipping
Like,
away,
even when Shobin gets down there, and when he's doing
tying
the
the
rope,
rope.
so when he's like adjusting everything, I kept thinking, like, it has to be slippery because it had rained. So how come
Yeah,
he's in a static position for so
position.
long? But now the belt thing makes a bit of sense. Uh, but yeah, anyway, I think uh, I just watched the film, so I can't think of anything else right now that I should be talking about. Maybe if I had seen it a couple of days ago, I would have gathered my thoughts. But this is a fun chat. We have been on for
Yeah.
40 minutes and we didn't even realize. Thank you guys for joining us for this quick, short little chat about Manjummel Boys, another piece of cinematic brilliance, cinematic marvel from Malayalam cinema. I think this is the year of Malayalam cinema. Like, the way they are going one by one. hitting sixes out of the park with every film. Thank you, Sneha, for taking out time. I hope that I get to see you more often on the channel now.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for
Uh,
having me back.
Thank you, guys. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like and comment. Thank you. See you soon.